What's up, y'all? It's your boy Broadway, and today we are back to talk about some damn Bring Her Back. Came out last year. It's from directors Michael and I forget where. Let's look at the IMDb. Michael and Danny Filippo or Filippo. I don't know how exactly to pronounce it, so I'm sorry if I'm butchering it, brothers. But yeah, twins, Danny and Michael. Bill Hinsman, don't know who that is. And yeah, I'm late as hell. This is gonna be a thing on this channel where I review a lot of things that I have a huge back catalog of movies and games. And yeah, a good chunk of this channel is going to be dedicated just going back to things that I've missed and talking about it. Because I love talking. Alright. Whether it be bullshit or not. But my history with the Filippo brothers, of course, we all remember them from their YouTube days, RackaRacka, doing Ronald McDonald skits to Halo, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. You can always tell that they had a creative eye and just a real an energy, like a really unique energy that they brought to their videos back in the day. And I remember nothing personally, but I fell off from watching them um, after like they really started getting into the wrestling stuff. Like I said, it's not that I didn't like that type of content. It was just life happening and just I guess me losing care over time. But I always remembered these guys because I love their little Ronald McDonald horror shorts. And so of course you fast forward to when did that come out? Talk to me. Talk to me. 2022. Yeah, so then you fast forward to 2022. You get Talk to Me, which I thought was a dope ass fucking horror film. It's a great introduction for their feature length film career. I love the theme of using demonic possession as like a drug addiction that these kids are getting hooked to. And not gonna go too deep into that movie when it comes to spoilers and stuff, but I really fucking enjoyed it. I loved the way that the ending took. And if they ever do a sequel, it would be really nice to it'd be really cool to see it flip from now that we know that the main girl from the first movie is stuck in that weird place, that trapped place where within the hand, I guess. It'd be cool to see her trying to tell other kids and like let them know like you need to stop doing this and then see how that would play out in a sequel. I think that'd be cool. Fast forward 3 more years, they release Bring Her Back. Didn't watch it last year, just couldn't get around to it. Again, personal life issues, work, money, all that stuff. But just a couple days ago, I got to sit down and watch this goddamn thing. And let's just go ahead and read this overview. I wanted to create my own synopsis for it, but it's right here in my face. And it's about Andy and his sister Piper. They face unsettling events while living with their foster mother, Laura, played by Sally Hawkins up there, whose grief and secrets draw them into a chilling supernatural ordeal. And kind of like Primate, I'm gonna go through spoiler discussion, obviously. Not gonna entirely, because I'm sure I'm gonna mismatch scenes in order and forget a few things, and I just wanna get my personal, let me just give you my take, basic underlying too long didn't watch review. I don't know if I like this more than Talk to Me, but I really, really fucking like this movie. It's brutal. It's not. It's it's scary in this. It's very tense. You ain't gonna get no jump scares, nothing getting you out your seat like that. But well, shit, maybe one of the scenes I'm gonna talk about it made me jump out my seat because it was just so fucking unexpected. But um, yeah. So you see the overview. It's about two siblings played by Billy and Sora Wong. And by the way, I didn't know that Miss Wong um, actually had a lazy eye. So I love the authenticity there. I love that playing into the role itself. Um, Billy Barrett. I'm gonna say Barrett. Billy, great job. Fucking Sally Hawkins. Look, I didn't when I was going into this. I thought I didn't know who Sally Hawkins was, and then when I was prepping the vid, I clicked on her name and I scrolled down, and that shit said The Shape of Water. How the fuck did I forget that she was in The Shape of Water? I love that damn movie. I don't understand how I forgot. It came out in 2017, 9 years ago. I swear to God, I thought that movie came out like a lot later than 2017. It feels like it, but yeah, man. She's beautiful, but you can tell she's like into creepy shit. She 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 does creepy. She does creepy very very well. And Kath, I don't even remember the character Kathy from the movie. If I'm being honest with you. Um. Anyway, we're gonna start. Let's get into it. Um. Yeah, these two siblings, they end up going through some trauma. Which is essentially she's partially sighted. That's what she is. She's partially sighted. That's my fault. But their dad, who's played by Stephen Phillips, Phil, um, he had cancer, something like that. Yeah, I think he had cancer. And Andy, he ends up stumbling across him in the shower, dead. And it's pretty brutal, bro. But that happens. They end up going to meet with the character Wendy, who was played by Sally Ann Upton. And Wendy had me fucking dying, y'all. And here's the thing about this movie: there is no real intentional comedy. Maybe like twice, two or three times in the first act when you're kind of building the relationship with Andy and Piper. But most of the comedy from this movie is very unintentional, and it's because it's just real shit happening. And say a character like Wendy, just the way she reacts to things, it's like, yeah, that is how one in her position would probably react to seeing some shit like this. And but they he finds him dead. They end up going to talk to Wendy, who is like the counselor. She works with kids and shit. Um, she ends up telling the siblings essentially like, "Hey, look, you got what's her name? What's her name? Laura. You're gonna be going to Laura. She's great, but y'all are gonna be separated." And he's like, "No, I don't play that shit. I'm about to be 18 in about 3 months. I want custody of her because we're like this. You don't separate us, and just tell Laura that if she won't take both of us, then we're fucking out of here." And so Wendy's like, "Whatever, okay." And oh yeah, she said she mainly didn't want to take Andy because Laura had a problem with troubled kids in the past, and Andy, as we'll come to find out later in the movie, he was heavily abused by his father, and because of that, like the mistreatment, this misalignment between him and between him and Piper when it comes to the relationship with their dad, very opposite ends of the spectrum. Piper was babied, the favorite, while Andy's just, while Piper's not here, I'm gonna take all my frustration and beat your ass. And so yeah, that was their relationship with their father. Piper doesn't know anything about that shit until later on in the film. And yeah, you don't know the shit until way later, like second, third act of the movie. But I'm just kind of getting into it now. And I can tell you one thing straight up, immediately, as soon as they get into this bitch's house, you can just tell shit weird. And not even because of the music that she's playing. It's I don't think she does anything intentionally weird right then and there, but it's certain conversations, how she tries to lead Andy and Piper, like she's a mass manipulator. This woman is evil. And I don't even know if you can say evil, but she is evilly grief stricken, if that can be a term. She is evilly grief stricken. She is hurt by, she's got so much trauma her damn self that she's willing to go to the lengths, I mean the extra 9 miles to do that. And what is the trauma she went through? Well, Miss Laura, her daughter, Kathy, sorry, I think that's her daughter. Her daughter, Kathy, drowned in the swimming pool of their backyard. Okay. And so we get there. You also end up finding out that she has a son already named Oliver. And this kid is fucking weird. Okay. He is the complete you remember when you went to go see Hereditary and you thought the main daughter was going to be like the weird caricature archetype for a horror movie? And then like within the first 5 minutes it's pretty much established like, oh no, this is actually a really normal, innocent, pretty lovable kid. And what happens to her later on in the movie fucking sucks. That ain't the case with Oliver. Oliver is weird off the fucking jump. All right. You know something's weird with Oliver. You know something's wrong. And I actually had it all fucked up. So I was, what you do when you're watching movies, you're creating head canon, creating these theories. They get to the house and you see the white circle that's going around the house, and you see the videos, the the like the Super 8 style like tapes of not Super 8 but found footage style tapes that she's watching to. I'm getting so far ahead. Her daughter drowns. And what she's essentially trying to do is there's these tapes that show this ritual being performed. And the ritual is essentially like resurrection, how to bring the dead back to life. And my head canon was when I was watching it, I thought Oliver already had like I thought Oliver had Kathy's spirit in her. But that ain't the case. We end up finding some shit about we end up finding things out later about that completely flips it on its head. And the way you're told it, it's like a blink if you miss it. Like if you get distracted by something, like and you miss one little part of dialogue, you're fucked. You missed a part of the movie. But anyway, you could tell Oliver's fucked up. And we start going through the film and they go to the dad's funeral, for Andy and Piper. And one thing we come to learn that Andy does to Piper a lot, since she's partially sighted and she can't see the truth herself, he'll lie about stuff, right? And we actually get a bit of that. That'll come back around later too. But and Laura even recognizes this. Like Oliver, he's standing off to the side, and Piper's like, "Hey, what is he doing?" And Andy's like, "Oh yeah, he's smiling at you." And Oliver's just sitting there, fucking deadpan the entire time, just staring, not smiling at all. And then that's when you get Laura coming in and kind of adding fuel to the fire and just lying with him. Oh yeah, he's got red hair and it's all bright red hair and it's curly. And that's one thing. That's like the first instance you get of like her wickedness, her weirdness, because Andy doesn't lie to Piper for fun, you know, like he's not using her far farsightedness, partially sightedness to like just make fun of her and demean her and have fun with. Like when he was saying like he didn't want to creep her out and be like, oh yeah, Oliver's just sitting there staring a hole through you and he looks like he's possessed if I'm honest, Piper. Like he's not gonna say that. He's gonna be like, oh yeah, he's chill, he's smiling at you too. Laura takes heed of that and he's like, oh, he's lying to her. So like, okay, whatever. Well, let me like Laura starts to actually have fun with it. Now she's just like, oh yeah, he's got red hair. It's fucking bright, it's fiery, it's curly. And you can just immediately tell, like Andy looks at her like, bitch, what are you doing? Like, that's not what I'm doing here. Like what I'm doing and what you're doing is completely different. So moving on from that, um, like I said, probably gonna forget some of the patterns, but we're just gonna let's go ahead and dive into the ritual. So essentially it's fucked up. You need three working parts. You need somebody to be the conduit, which I guess is in this case Oliver, like Oliver is okay. Let's just get one thing straight up out the way. Oliver is not Oliver. Okay, Oliver is some motherfucking kid named Connor who's gone missing, and this bitch Laura, I'm assuming, kidnapped this kid and then put her nephew's soul, Oliver, into Connor's body. That's what she's done. And essentially, how this ritual works, you get one person who's already possessed by some type of demon or spirit. You've got the person you're trying to bring back to life, their corpse. They're dead, right? And then you've got another person that you just have to kill. Like you need somebody, you need two corpses. The person you want to bring back, and then another random person that you want to put your family's member's soul into. And what Oliver's job is, or whoever's possessed job is, they are going to eat the flesh of the person that you lost. So I lost my dad, right? And I wanted him, and I'm in the world of bring her back, and I want to bring my dad back to life. I get my dad's corpse, and then say I get another dude who looks like my dad, and I kill him, right? Someone has to be possessed by this demon. They're going to eat my dad, not all of them down to the bone, but enough. They're going to eat him, and then they're going to puke. They're going to throw up all his blood, all that meat that they just ate from my dad, and they're going to throw it up into the mouth of that other corpse. And that is the transferring of souls from one body to the next. That is the ritual. That's what she has already done to Oliver. She's done this before, because remember, Oliver is not Oliver. Oliver is actually Connor, right? And you get a little bit of this first with the first crazy, like, body horror shit that really happens in the movie is when Oliver and Andy are left home alone. And, you know, Laura's like, you keep Oliver in his room. You don't let him out at all. Like, no exceptions. Don't let him out. And then, of course, Andy, he goes up to the room and he wasn't going to let him out. He was just checking on him. And so, but when he goes to open up the door, he's like, oh my gosh, she locked you in here. That's fucked up. There's a reason for that, Andy. And he goes in, unlocks the door, brings him out, tries to have some normal conversation. He's like, you want some fruit? Are you hungry? He's like, you know what? The only way you're going to get some fruit is if you write for me. You can't talk, you're mute, so write something. And he writes the word bird. I'm all over the fucking place. Sorry, I know. But Bird is the last name of the kid who was kidnapped that Oliver's soul is inhabiting right now. That kid's name is Connor Bird. He's been kidnapped, and that's him trying to tell Andy, like, that's my last name. That's all he can write, really. But after this happens, this kid takes the knife that the cantaloupe is on, starts eating the cantaloupe off the knife, but also has the knife up, and he's cutting his fucking face up. He's gouging his teeth out. Oh, he's like cuts like, oh, he gives himself a cleft lip. I can tell you that right now. And yeah, he fucks himself all the way up. Andy tries to get him out the house, and lo and fucking behold, that circle that's around the house, that is how you keep the soul within the body. Like, you cannot let them leave that chalk circle, white circle, whatever it is. Because as soon as Andy gets him out of it, his stomach starts rupturing. He starts going crazy. And then he looks at Andy and he's like, help me. And, you know, lo and behold, Laura pulls up. Andy's in trouble. This and that and the third. And this is when shit gets absolutely crazy. This is when shit goes off the fucking deep end right here, y'all. So, yeah. She gets Ollie fixed up, whatever. Andy's in trouble, as we can assume. But the way Laura tries to separate and drive a wedge between Piper and Andy, it is so brutal. It's so fucked up. And it's so goddamn nasty. So we learn, you see him anytime she's doing shit. Oh, by the way, after, this is before what I'm about to get into happens. She gets Ollie back into the room, right? And did you see her watching the video? And there's actually a way to like recaptured the soul back into the body. Like, because when she gets Ollie back into the room, he's like, "Where the fuck am I? Who are you? What's going on?" This kid is rightfully so freaking the fuck out. And Laura, she's just rubbing that head. She's just rubbing that forehead. Just getting that spirit back into him. And eventually it works. She gets him off the bed and all that bullshit. And so as I was saying before I went into that, after each night scene, you see Andy wake up, like completely slobbering, drooling, like, his mouth running while that boy is asleep. And on top of that, he's pissing himself. This happens like 2 or 3 times. The third time, you find out why he's pissing himself. And that's the neat thing. Andy is not pissing himself. Fucking Laura is like staying up all night in the middle of the night, wait until she has to pissing in like a measuring cup, and then going into Andy's room at night, pouring it on his pants, like pouring her piss on him, making him feel embarrassed, and like essentially gaslighting him to believe that he's like pissing on himself at night. And she ends up finding out that because she's a mass manipulator, like they have a night of like drinking after the funeral and they're talking to each other. This is before the shit with Ollie happens, I think. And like, but she ends up getting him drunk as fuck. And he gets all this information out of him about why he ended up hitting Piper, because he was like so jealous of the fact that his dad only ever like essentially tortured him and he wouldn't do anything to Piper. That made him jealous and said, "Fuck it, you're not gonna hit her. I'm gonna go fucking punch her one good time." He got in trouble for that, of course. And he tells all that to Laura in confidence, thinking that she's just being a good counselor and, checking his mental. She wasn't. All she was doing is getting ammo so she can further use that against Andy later to try to split him away from Piper. Okay? And that's exactly what happens. There is a scene in this movie where she goes into Piper's room while she's asleep. And Piper, she's so adorable. Like, look at Sora Wong. I think she's like 16, and like actually knowing that she is kind of partially sighted, it adds so much. She's an adorable girl. She's adorable. But anyway, she's sitting there sleeping, and Laura just comes up. Blasts her goddamn shit in, right? I'm talking completely gives her a big ass black eye. Like, she bonked the shit out that girl. And of course, the next morning when they wake up, Laura's trying to use this against Andy. Like, she's already sitting there like doctoring her eye. He's like, "Andy, you got some explaining to do? What you talking about?" Turns around, big ass black eye. So what does that cause? That obviously causes a whole damn conniption. And, Andy gets Laura's back up against the wall and he punches a hole in the fucking wall. And so, this point, Andy's off the deep end. He's leaving. He's gone. He's like, "Bitch, fuck this shit." I don't remember if he gets kicked out or if he just leaves, but he's like, "I'm going to go to the police. I am going to go see Wendy because there is shit happening here that don't make no motherfucking sense." And so, he goes out. He finds like a missing kids poster for Connor Bird, the motherfucker that's in the poster right there. That's Connor Bird, aka Oliver. And oh yeah, that little section I was talking about, you would not know that Oliver is not Oliver if you missed one little piece of dialogue from a found footage section. Laura was watching some old family videos with Piper after she came into the room. And, Piper's just like, "Can we just let it play? I would love to hear the life you had with your daughter before." And right at the end of the family video, you hear a little boy say, "Hey, Auntie Laura," like he's like, "Hey, Auntie Laura, can I have something?" And then right before the video shuts off, you hear Laura say, "Hold on a second, Ollie." Immediately, if you missed those 2 lines, you missed the twist essentially of the movie. And the twist is that, like I've already said, That's Connor Bird. Her nephew Oliver died some type of way before, probably didn't want to let him go, and then took Connor. He had long blonde hair, shaved that motherfucker down, and then did the ritual and transferred Oliver's soul into his. Laura, you are fucked up, okay? That's all I gotta say. All this shit's going down. Andy, he takes that missing child's poster to Wendy, starts telling her Laura's fucked up. Did you guys even do any research on her? Wendy's like, no, we didn't do any research on her because she's worked here for over 20 years. I've seen her. She works great with kids. There's no reason I would have to believe that she would do any of the shit that you're talking about. And Andy is like, look, this is the missing child's poster. He calls her Oliver. Blah, 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 blah. Call her. No, don't call her. Let's fucking ride down there. And while all this shit is happening, you've got Oliver at the house completely going fucking crazy, eating, drinking, anything he can get his fucking mouth on, because that's essentially what this ritual does. It gives the whoever is possessed by this demon is like this insatiable hunger. Like, and until they eat the corpse of whoever soul you're trying to bring back, like they are going to eat and eat and eat and eat. It's just going to keep on eating. That's like one of the like nasty like practical effects you see as the movie goes. Like Oliver just starts off as this skinny kid, but as this demon keeps forcing him to eat things, and oh my god, y'all, we get to the goddamn table scene where he's eating the wood and it's splitting. Oh, this movie caused so much phantom pain for me. It was insane. This motherfucker starts ripping the skin off his arm. I feel my arm start to tighten up. This motherfucker was chewing on that wood and broke his tooth. My whole damn jaw started tightening up. Okay, this movie is it's a sick one. It's a sick watch. It's a sick one. Like I said, and oh god, I'm almost running off the cliff before I was going with there. But oh yeah, no, he's in the kitchen tearing up every fucking thing. And this is like one of these parts of the movies where I was gonna be so fucking pissed if this happened, but I'm glad it didn't. But you know, he's tearing up the house. The kitchen is fucked. The living room is fucked. There's blood every goddamn where. And finally, you get back to Wendy and Andy, and they're like, "We're on the way." And Andy, he has this, this conscious moment where he calls Piper and he's like, look, I've been admitting to all these things. I hit you when you were younger because I was so jealous, and your dad did this, and I wanted to keep that from you because I didn't want to hurt you. That's why, some things I would lie to you about, like the kids making fun of her at the bus earlier in the movie. Like, when he lies to Piper is to protect her emotions. It's not to have fun like Laura was doing. So he's admitting all that. And of course, lo and behold, who is on the other side of the phone listening? Not Piper, but fucking Laura. So she goes on this huge cleaning spree, right? And this was a part of the movie where I was gonna be so fucking pissed if she pulled this off. And she almost did, but thankfully Andy is not a stupid character. Andy is a well-written character, and he did what anybody with a fucking brain would do in that moment. So they pulled up to the house, and Wendy's like, I'm gonna go inside. And then he's like, I'm coming with you. It's like, no, you stay here. Red flag number one when it comes to movie writing. I was like, fuck, man, like she's gonna get away with the shit. There's no fucking way she should have been able to clean all that shit up in that amount of time. That was too much of a mess. So, anywho, Wendy goes in. They're talking, and yeah, she's showing her around the house. Andy says, fuck this bullshit. I'm not waiting. I saw what you had out in that goddamn shed the other night. I'm gonna go see for my motherfucking self what's out there. Now, I'm gonna make a comparison real quick. What happens in this film? Like, the same thing for me happened in Hereditary, right? There's a lot of times in horror movies when the main character is going through something and then people around them just don't believe what the fuck they're saying. And like, in Hereditary, it was Toni Collette's character when she went up into the attic and she saw her headless mama's corpse sitting up there, and she waited all day for her husband to get home. I remember when that scene was happening, and she was like, please just go up into the attic and just look. Like, it's there. I'm not going crazy. Just please go up in there and look so you can believe me. I remember I was just sitting there thinking, Lord, please let that corpse be there, and please don't have her be hallucinating. And I remember the second he opened up the attic door, and like he went like, oh, he was acting like he got hit by a stench so foul. I felt so elated because it was like, thank fucking God, like it's up there. Now, of course, he ends up flipping it on her anyway and saying like, you dug the corpse up and you brought her up there. But the whole point is, when the character is very paranoid about something and they bring it to someone's attention, and that shit is real, and it turns out to be real, and they both of their eyes get to see it firsthand. Probably my favorite part in this movie, and one of the best bits of unintentional comedy, when Wendy is in the house talking to Laura, and Andy goes into the shed and opens up the door and sees Oliver eating the face of fucking Kathy. And then he goes back and he's like yelling for Wendy, get the fuck out here. And Laura immediately starts going fucking crazy. She's like, I saw an angel, and you remember, I just need someone else to do this with me. Like, she starts to tell you. She starts to make it sound like Wendy was a part of the first ritual, but I don't think she was. And Wendy's like, bitch, you better get the fuck off me. What the fuck? She gets the fuck out of there. She goes up to Andy. Andy takes her to the shed. And this is the point I was talking about. I was like, Lord, when he gets there, please let Oliver still be there with that fucking corpse. And by God, thank you, Danny and Michael, for writing this way. They were there. They try to get the fuck out of there. And unfortunately, one part of the movie that I don't like this part. I hate this part. Wendy and Andy get run the fuck down by Laura driving the car. And, I hate it. I hate it, man. Because unfortunately, Andy dies. And what does he get killed? He doesn't get killed by the car. No, he gets injured by the car. But what does he get killed by? This is what he gets killed by.
Pepper, if you jump in muddy puddles, you must wear your boots.
A fucking muddy puddle. She turned Andy's head down and drowned that motherfucker. I didn't like that part. Didn't like it. Andy didn't deserve that. But you know what? It still all works out, because I thought this movie was going to end up with Oliver eating Piper, and then that crazy bitch Laura getting what she wanted. But this is why I had to say the term earlier, evilly grief-stricken. Because Laura is evil. And she'll go a certain length to get her daughter back, even her nephew, like we saw with Oliver. But there is a point with Laura that we do get to, and she Piper's essentially sitting there like begging, pleading for her to not do this, for her to not kill her. Because Laura tells her like, you're perfect just like Kathy was, you look like her, you're just the same, you're perfect just like Kathy ever was. And so the last thing Piper says, the last thing she belts out of her mouth, she calls Laura mom. And that completely shuts her down. Like, completely, it breaks her down. Like, she's like, I can't do this shit. What am I doing? And for me, it was like, that was my whole point. Like, you didn't need to do this shit. You didn't need to kidnap that kid Connor. All right, you could have just let him be. But you especially didn't need to do that to Piper. Because you said yourself, she is perfect the way she is, and she reminds you enough of your daughter as enough. So why the fuck do you need to kill her and then you already see Oliver, like, Ollie ain't even Ollie. He's mute. He's crazy. The fuck you doing? Anyway, but I do, as much as I hate Andy dying, I I love the way the movie ends. You know, I wish Laura would have died, but whatever. She just gets her daughter's body and floats in a pool with her. Piper, she goes off and hopefully meets a different foster family that actually gives a fuck about her and doesn't try to put her someone else's soul into her body. And the cool thing, you get a cool little tie-in with the airplane. Um, Andy and Piper were like laying under the bed earlier in the movie, and they heard a plane taking off, and Andy was like, "You know, that's Dad going to heaven, right? You know, that's what happens when they die. You just catch a plane, and you just catch a plane up to heaven." And so at the end of the movie, when Piper's riding in that uh, car that picked her up when she ran away, um, she sees a plane, and yeah, that's Andy going off. And even fucking Oliver, Connor Bird, like the character, like even he gets out. You know, he sees like his missing, he walks outside, sees his like missing person's flyer, and he walks himself outside of the circle and essentially gets exorcised. And the police find him and I assume get him back to safety and get him back to whoever's mama he was kidnapped from. And yeah, man, that's fucking. I know that was all over the place. I probably should start writing scripts for things like this when I want to go fully in depth. But that was Bring Her Back. I'm gonna give this movie. I'm gonna give it a B plus. I would give it an A, but my boy Andy, I did not like the way he died. That was fucked up. And yeah, man. Um, Shout out to Sora Wong. I hope she has a great career ahead of her. She's a great actress. Sally Hawkins, keep doing you. Same thing to you, Billy. Hope you have a longer career after this movie. And Jesus Christ, yeah, man, this movie is it's brutal, it's depressing, but it's it's a great watch, a great watch, great watch, yeah. And I do just final thought before I close it out. I love how they um get him to the point because like you see the trailers and you see the teeth look like that and you just think he's turning into a demon, and that's actually not the case. His teeth get so fucked up because of him like putting the knife in his mouth and him biting that goddamn table like you see in the bottom left right there. Yeah, man, this movie, God, oh, I'm getting the phantom pain again. Okay, anyway, yeah, I love how he gets to this point because it's him hurting himself. It's not like the teeth taking this cosmic ability to just turn demonic. No, it's him fucking himself up. But anyway, 38 minutes. Hope you guys still if you stuck around through my like I was all over the place, disorganized, just kind of talking. So if you made it through, thank you very much. If you didn't, fuck you. I'm just messing. I want all you guys to be safe, keep pace, and have faith out there. It's a crazy world, and I need you guys to keep coming back to my channel so you can keep getting these goddamn videos. All right? Be safe, keep pace, have faith. Shout out to Earl Sweatshirt. That's a mantra I live by to this day, and hope you guys do the same. All right, y'all. Peace.